Hello and welcome to National Focus for Tuesday, September 10, 2024. I am Julian Morris. In the headlines, government looking into harnessing the country's forest carbon credits. Ministry of Health confirms a few COVID-19 cases so far this year. And grammar school and Goodwill secondary students expected back in school by next week. The details of the headline stories and more when we return.
Ride safe, wear a helmet, safer roads in the nature aisle. This message was brought to you by the government of the Commonwealth of Dominica.
Welcome back. The Ministry of Environment through the Forestry Division in collaboration with the Coalition for the Rainforest Nations have hosted a workshop as they continue to build awareness and capacity for harnessing the potential of the country's forest carbon credits. The workshop held recently aimed to provide stakeholders with a comprehensive update on the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change and the Paris Agreement mechanisms, requirements and opportunities in regards to the carbon market. Opportunities for Dominica to attract climate finance were also highlighted at the workshop.
The REDD+ mechanism is therefore central element of the 2015 agreement to which the Commonwealth of Dominica has committed to, and this is to ensure that the efforts undertaken by developing countries to mitigate climate change and promote sustainable development contribute to global goals for combating climate change.
He explained that carbon credits can be a source of income for Dominica due to its expansive forest cover.
This is of particular interest in the REDD+ initiative, as payments can be linked to performance. In addition, REDD+ can offer developing countries such as Dominica with large extensive forest cover and who have maintained a relatively low rate of deforestation substantial financial benefit for protecting our forests. In Dominica's case, I can clearly state that our overall conservation measures and program, which have resulted in our country having one of the highest percentage area of natural forest cover in the hemisphere.
Minister for Environment Honorable Kozia Frederick says government has set major goals for the country.
We spoke about the NDCs and our really ambitious goals that we have set. And we have to be mindful that with ambitious goals, there has to be a lot of work. It has to be done. But we know we have limitations in how we finance that work. And that's why we have this conversation today and the workshop today, because we have to tackle the issues of climate change in a very frontal way, but with a lot of technical support. And that work is important because it's a fact. It's almost a cliche sometimes when you say we are not the major emitters. The major countries that emit a lot, they are not coming forward to contribute to their contributions for effectively combating climate change. We see all of that stuff, but it is important that we put it in context.
He described the workshop as important if Dominica is to achieve the goal of becoming the world's first climate resilient country.
Dominica being a carbon negative country, so it's so crucial and so important at this time, especially with a major proclamation speaking about first climate resilient country, looking at all of the highlights of 2030 and all the SDGs, and so we can't take it for granted that we have a big job ahead of us, a big task.
The Ministry of Health has confirmed that there have been a few cases of COVID-19 recorded this year as the virus continues to mutate. Concern over variants, sometimes called strains of the virus that causes COVID-19, is based on how the virus might change. A virus could get better at infecting people, spread faster, or cause people to get sicker. Dr. Shalodin Ahmed is Dominica's national epidemiologist.
We have observed sporadic cases of COVID-19 throughout the year. Recently, during the week of August 4 to 10, there was a mild increase. Similar upticks were noted in March of this year. Otherwise, weekly average of COVID-19 cases remains below 5. The latest predominant variant, KP.3.1.1, a variant of Omicron, is circulating in North America. The COVID-19 virus will continue to mutate, leading to new variants. The more the virus is allowed to replicate in our bodies, the greater the chances of mutation. This is why maintaining a strong immune system is crucial in fighting the virus.
As a virus infects a group of people, the virus copies itself. During this process, the genetic code can randomly change in each copy. These changes are called mutations. Dr. Ahmed is recommending that infected people avoid contact with the elderly and the vulnerable.
People with weakened immune systems, such as elderly, patients with chronic diseases, those who are immune suppressed, and terminally ill patients, may provide fertile ground for viral replication, resulting in genetic mutations and creation of new variants. Some of these vulnerable individuals may succumb to this infection. Therefore, it is important to keep our immune system strong, either naturally or through vaccination. Additionally, when we are sick, we should be considerate of vulnerable groups and maintain distance from them.
The Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries, Blue and Green Economy brought important stakeholders in the fisheries sector together for a critical workshop on the CC Fish 2 project, or the CC for Fish 2 project, on Monday. The project is a key initiative for the future of Dominica's fisheries sector amid the growing challenges of climate change. The project, approved by the Global Environment Facility, GEF, and implemented by the Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, aims to enhance the resilience of fisheries ecosystems and communities across the Caribbean, particularly in small island developing states like Dominica.
This project is vital for several reasons. First, I want to emphasize it supports our national goal of becoming the world's first climate resilient nation, a vision we all know was championed by the Honorable Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit. By promoting climate adaptive practices, sustainable fisheries management, and ecosystem restoration, we are safeguarding our marine resources and the livelihood of our coastal communities, very essential for us. Secondly, the project directly benefits our fisher folks who are on the front line of climate change.
With weather patterns intensifying, Mr. Ansem believes training under this project will be useful to those on the front line of climate change.
It will provide in our mind with training in sustainable fisheries practices, access to climate resilient gear, and support for alternative livelihood, equipping them to face the challenges posed by the changing weather patterns and declining fish stocks.
The project is also expected to strengthen institutional capacity to manage and protect Dominica's marine environment.
It will help build governance structures, enforce sustainable fisheries management, and encourage collaboration between government and communities. And this is why we're having this stakeholder meeting, to strengthen this collaboration. Furthermore, the project aligns with Dominica's broader economic development goals. A resilient fisheries sector is the key for food security, economic sustainability.
Meantime, Edgar Hunter represented the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of the Environment at Monday's CC for Fish 2 stakeholder workshop. In his remarks, he spoke on the importance of integrating climate resilience into Dominica's fisheries sector. He said it was critical not only to Dominica's environmental sustainability, but also to the well-being of our communities and the future of our economy.
As we gather here under the auspices of the CC4 Fish 2 project, we are reminded of the significant challenges posed by climate change. Dominica's fishery sector which has long been a cornerstone of our culture, economy, and food security, is now at the forefront of these challenges. Rising sea levels, increasing ocean temperatures, and more frequent extreme weather events are all realities that threaten the sustainability of our marine resources and the livelihoods of our coastal communities.
Mr. Hunter said those who derive their livelihoods from the fisheries sector cannot ignore the necessity of promoting and engaging in climate resilience efforts.
Integrating climate resilience into our fisheries sector is not just an option, it is an urgent necessity. The CC4 Fish project provides us with an unique opportunity to address these challenges head-on by implementing strategies that will protect our marine ecosystems, enhance the sustainability of our fisheries, and safeguard the livelihoods of those who depend on these resources.
At the Ministry of the Environment, the focus has always been to promote sustainable development that balances economic growth with environmental protection. He says this project aligns perfectly with the ministry's mandate by supporting the action or the adoption of climate-resilient technologies and practices that will not only mitigate the effects of climate change, but also contribute to the overall resilience of our nation.
Climate resilience in the fisheries sector involves several key components. One, strengthening marine ecosystems. By protecting and restoring critical habitats such as coral reefs and mangroves, we can enhance the natural defenses of our coastlines and ensure the productivity of our fisheries. These ecosystems act as buffers against storm surges and provide essential breeding grounds for many fish species.
You are watching National Focus. More when we return. Welcome back. Students and teachers of the Dominica Grammar School and Goodwill Secondary are expected to return to school by next week. Most schools on the island reopened on Monday, but due to ongoing construction, students of the Dominica Grammar School and Goodwill Secondary who share the same building will have to wait for a few more days. In the interim, the Permanent Secretary is appealing to teachers to meet with students in order to get them familiarized with the new school setting.
From all reports that I received yesterday, all of our schools have opened, with the exception of the Dominica Grammar School and the Goodwill Secondary School. As we know, those two schools are sharing the same building, and we had some ongoing works at that school, at the grammar school during the summer. The work has not progressed as we wanted it to, although the Minister and I earlier indicated that it would be ready for the opening. However, we had a few setbacks. There's still some cleaning that needs to be done. There's still some furniture that needs to be moved. We enlisted the help of the National Employment Program. I spoke with P.S. Blackmore, and he agreed to give us as many NEPs as we need to do the work. So hopefully this week we will be working feverishly on grammar school, ensuring that we can open next week.
He says the contractors also have a role to play in facilitating the resumption of school next week.
While we await the opening next week, what we hope that the staff of both the Goodwill School and the Dominica Grammar School can do is meet with the students sometime this week, especially the first formers, the first and the fifth formers, do some orientation with the students. They don't have to spend the whole day, and I had that discussion with the principal yesterday again. They don't have to stay the whole day. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, if If they wish to go Thursday and Friday, then that's fine. But all we're asking is that the students come in, the teachers spend at least 1 hour, 2 hours with the students, let them meet the teachers, let them meet the classrooms, get them familiarized with the school setting, and then they can go back home and we'll continue with the cleaning and the moving of the furniture that needs to be done.
In light of the number of school days available this year, coupled with disruptions during the hurricane season, Mr. Geist is asking parents and teachers to understand the urgency to get students back in school.
Also, as we speak, there's still some scaffolding that needs to be moved. We're hoping that the contractors, ADS, can assist us by getting that done this week. And some lighting fixtures in some of the classrooms also need to be repaired. We're hoping that they can fix that for us. We have a plan B for the lighting fixtures, which I will not reveal at this time, but we have a plan B for the lighting of the fixtures. So this is less of a worry for us at the time. However, the scaffolding needs to come down, and we're hoping that by next week, Monday, Tuesday for the latest, that we can have school in full swing at both the Dominica Grammar School and the Goodwill Secondary School.
Students and staff of the Salibia Primary School are the recipients of a new kitchen as the 2024-2025 academic year begins. The kitchen was handed over at a ceremony on Monday by the Division of Kalinago Upliftment and UNICEF. Project coordinator Ms. Gemma Azil says the kitchen aims to nurture a school feeding program at the school.
And seeing that there was an absence of a feeding program at the school, this also compounded the problem of poor school attendance, which led to poor academic performance. We also observed that the absence of a meal placed the students at risk of sexual abuse because it raised the possibility of the children asking strangers for snacks when they do not have or when they are hungry. With these issues being outlined, we were even more determined to get this project implemented. With the blessing of the Honorable Minister Kozia Frederick, we proposed this plan to UNICEF.
Ms. Azil says she is happy to see the project come to fruition as it will aid in the overall development of students.
I am extremely happy and satisfied to see this project finally completed. Today, as you take a look at the kitchen, and those of you who knew what was there before and to see what we have now, you will be impressed. I remember when I spoke to Mrs. Bell, she herself was excited that she has a kitchen. I am saying again, I am happy that the students of the Salibia Primary School, as well as the Siniku Primary School students, will greatly benefit from this facility. This new kitchen will aid in the prevention of the absence of meals to the students, aid in the prevention of child neglect, and will also help in the students' growth and development.
Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Education, Mr. Robert Gist, says the kitchen will provide for over 110 children. He encouraged members of the community to get involved in the school feeding program.
It is equipped with nice new countertops, fridge, stove, appliances, plate, everything, tout bagay, tout bitela. Now, we're asking you, remember I said one of the programs, one of the objectives was to encourage the participation and involvement of the community. So now parents, we're asking you, donate a dashi, donate a breadfruit, donate a yam, a hand of feed, some meat when you kill your pigs, your goats, your chicken, your cows. Bring in a pound of rice, a box of macaroni, a pack of spaghetti, and help out the program. If you have time, come in to help the cooks. It's for our children. We're doing it for our children.
Meanwhile, Minister for the Kalinago Upliftment and Member of Parliament for the Salibia constituency, Honorable Kozia Frederick, encouraged students and staff to take ownership of the kitchen.
Anybody can have a wonderful kitchen. Your job is to appreciate it, to keep it tidy, to check sometimes on the cooks and the teachers, because sometimes they may not clean it and keep it intact. So you have to check them for me, for us, because UNICEF is making a big investment. UNICEF is making a big investment because there are 12 countries in our Caribbean region that UNICEF is assisting. And because we spoke about your school, we spoke about it and the importance of that school feeding program, the UNICEF program decided to choose that one school in one country out of the 12 different countries in the world.
Coming up next, the Creole News Highlights with Jano Jacob.
Bienvenue à ce nouvel en créole, non, monsieur Jano Jacob. Activité, moi, moun qui en l'âge qui a continué. Il faut nous continuer à supporter ces activités là. Moi, moun qui en l'âge a commencé 1er septembre et puis fini 1er octobre 2024. Moi, c'est honorer et puis protéger droit moun qui en l'âge. Le 29 septembre, il y a un Walk of Ages. Préparer pour supporter activité là. Pour marcher et puis moun qui en l'âge. Président Conseil, M. Nigel Lawrence, dit nous compte Walk of Ages.
Les 29 mois, nous avons un bagage Dominica qui est un Walk of Ages. Nous voulons tout le monde en l'âge. Tout le monde en l'âge, nous avons un t-shirt qui est marqué Walk of Ages en l'âge. Et puis Dominica Council Ages. Nous voulons sortir côtoyer au pays. Nous avons encouragé tout le monde pour nous assistance, nous support, pour nous amener tout le monde. Et puis nous avons fait assemblée, un parc assemblée, l'Indo Park, un autre parc assemblée à sous Bayfront là, un autre parc assemblée en savane Newtown. Et puis nous avons tout marché ensemble à dans septembre et nous avons travaillé avec en Botanic Gardens. Là, nous avons regardé pour 2 fois les gens qui aiment nous, 2 3 Chantwell, 2 3 Calypsonians pour rester et puis pour nous avons rester, nous avons chanter, nous entertainment en dedans parc la chose ça.
Ministre Environnement, Division Forêt, en collaboration et puis Rainforest Nations, tient un workshop vendredi 6 septembre. Ministère pour Environnement, Honorable Cousin Frédéric, dit workshop là important pour Dominique si nous voulons préparer la nation Dominique comme un pays résilient climatique en la terre. Aussi, workshop ça là, c'était pour bâtir Forest Carbon Credit. Dominique, c'est ça tape l'argent de grand pays qui a mis pollution en environnement. Grand pays qui n'est l'usine qui a produit autant la fumée. La fumée qui a détruit l'environnement la terre. Dominique, c'est un pays qui est naturel et puis vert. Le gouvernement s'adapte l'argent pour forer Dominique. United Nations, ça c'est États-Unis, n'y a un agrément aussi en Paris. La Dominique, ça tape crédit. Ça, Dominique, ça a 26 crédits ça là, et puis le gouvernement, ça a servi l'argent ça là pour développer Dominique. Étudiants et puis teachers l'école primaire Salibia n'y ont cuisine neuf pour saison l'école ça là. Division Kalinago Upliftment et puis UNICEF, bah yo cuisine là lundi. Coordinateur projet ça là, Gemma Azil, des cuisines là qui ba légion l'école manger qui nourrissant. Mon parlement pour constituency Salibia, honorable Cousin Frédéric, encourager étudiants et puis teachers pour occuper cuisine là. Ça c'est tout à ce nouvel en créole, changez nous en temps cyclone, vos documents en plastique pour l'eau la pluie pas mouillée, déboucher toute dalle qui peut caillou, faire certains qui unissent un bon touchlight qui n'est batterie neuf. Non, monsieur Jano Jacob, au revoir.
Thank you, Jano. And now for today's weather advisory. Weak unstable conditions are affecting the area today. Lingering moisture and instability together with favorable upper level support are expected to result in partly cloudy to cloudy conditions with some scattered showers which could be moderate to heavy across the area during the next 24 hours. Additionally, light winds and daytime heating could further enhance showers and thunderstorms. People in areas prone to flooding, landslides and falling rocks are advised to be on alert to continue to exercise caution. Seas are expected to remain slight to moderate with wave heights reaching up to 5 feet over the next few days. The National Hurricane Center continues to monitor 2 areas of interest in the central and eastern Atlantic Ocean, which are showing signs of development over the next 7 days. Residents are advised to continue to monitor the progress of these systems. Today's hurricane tip: build an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. And that's all for this edition of National Focus. Be sure to follow GIS Dominica on Facebook, YouTube, and on Twitter. You can also drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm. From all of us here on the GIS News Production team, I am Julian Morris. Thanks for watching.